Hi everyone. Have you ever wondered what's involved with an MOT? Well, quite simply today, we're going to find out. So I'm heading to a local garage that I use quite a lot, to be honest, and I have done for more than 25 years, Aintree Motors, and we're just going to observe an MOT. Right, so here's our car. The car's all ready to go. Darren's our tester, so all I'm going to do is just let Darren get on with his job, and we'll ask him a few questions on the way. Cheers, mate.
Well, first we do our interior checks.
Right, okay.
Which is basically checking the doors, make sure they lock, close and open. And we'll check all the warning lights, the windscreen for any cracks or damage.
All right, okay,
and make sure we can see out of all the mirrors.
Is there a set order that you need to follow as well, Darren?
We tend to have a procedure, which just helps you not forget things.
I get you. It's easy enough, yeah. Systematic approach, fair play. All right, what's next, Darren?
Next we check all the lights operate with the side lights, position lights, and the hazard lights operate with the ignition off.
Right.
And then we check the security of the lights and registration plates.
Is there still a level that you've got to set as well? Didn't there used to be a level on the MOT?
Yeah. We check that when we check the lights, the operation of the headlights. So we check all the operation of that as well.
You have to excuse me, mate. This is the first time I've ever even seen anything like
this. First time you've witnessed an MOT.
So what does this machine then do, mate?
This is the beam tester. This checks the pattern and aim of the headlights.
I get you.
And also the level. That's nice, that. Inside there's a whiteboard at the back. And there's coloured lines on it.
Oh, I get you.
And those lines represent a tolerance for each different height of vehicle, yeah.
Oh, right, mate. Are you testing the seat belts there as well?
Yeah, we test the seat belts. We have a pull on the bottom of the seat belt to make sure the anchorage is secure.
Yeah.
And we'll unravel the seat belt, pull on the top to make sure that anchorage is secure, and we'll check the actual seat belt itself for any fraying or damaging. Cool.
Is that all of the seat belts, or
all the seat belts?
All the seat belts all around?
Right, now we check our brake lights. Get our assistant to check our brake lights.
What's this, mate?
This is a brake pedal depressor.
Ah, right, okay.
So we can check our brake lights without actually having someone in the car.
That's interesting. Didn't this used to be a two-man job as well?
Yeah, it used to be a two-man testing, but they've swapped it to one-man testing now. So, which is why we've got shaker plates and
those type of things,
and a metal rod to replace the
other person.
The assistance, yeah.
I get you.
You can replace a person with an inanimate object.
What were you checking for on the fuel cap?
Just that it seals and the seal's intact and there's no leakage of fumes, stuff like that.
I suppose that could go into the cabin as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, well, that's one of the main reasons.
I get you. What are you checking for as you move the wheel there, Dan?
We're checking for play in the top mounts in the suspension.
Yeah.
See if there's any clunking stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which would indicate wear.
And what do you need to do under the bonnet?
What we do is we check the brake lines, fuel lines,
Right, okay.
servo, and any fluid levels that we can see that might be vital for the MOT.
I see.
And for any corrosion and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know whether the...
First thing we check is brake fluid.
Right, okay.
Brake lines. We'll check the brake fluid, shine the light through.
Yep.
That can be any colour except black.
Except what, sorry?
Except black.
Except
If
black.
it's black, that's a fail.
It's a wrong. I get you.
Okay.
Is this basic structure of the car that you're looking at the moment?
At the minute we're looking at the steering and suspension.
Yeah.
We've got it on shaker plates, which basically turn the steering and then it'll shake the suspension for you.
Yeah.
So you can check for any play, wear, damage.
Fair play. Is brake wear a part of the actual MOT?
It is, and at the same time it isn't.
Okay.
If the brakes are too low and you can see it through the wheel, then
obvious.
It's obvious.
Yeah, I get that.
And then it becomes part of the MOT.
I see.
But you do have a quick look anyway, and
Yeah.
just
Good
to check.
around
Yeah.
here, yeah.
But unfortunately on the MOT you're not allowed to remove any items, so you can't really do a proper check on
look, I get you.
It's only what you can see. Check for corrosion with the soles, which probably not going to find anything on a car this new.
Quite embarrassing that I've no idea what you're doing now.
Oh yeah. Just jack the front of the car up. We have a quick shake on all wheels, spin them, listen for wheel bearings,
I see.
things like that, and then check tyres for tread depth, any cracks, damage.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing that over the years all I've done is just drop my car off to you guys and gone,
There you go.
fix. Yeah. Is there a minimum age limit to tyres nowadays?
On commercial vehicles and buses, yeah.
Yeah,
But not on private
cars.
vehicles at the minute.
Yeah.
But we probably will introduce one at
Soon.
some point there.
Yeah.
Just have a shake on the wheels, make sure there's no play in any ball joints or any suspension.
State of
for
the
wheel
roads
bearings.
nowadays, I bet that's a common thing as well, isn't it?
Oh, you'd be surprised how many springs and things like
Bits
that
and
just
bobs, yeah.
break.
Yeah. Must admit, I've just replaced the tyres on my missus's car because they were starting to degrade and crack around the outsides. They weren't worn, but they were just on the way out.
Yeah.
I suppose rubber, as it gets older, gets hard, doesn't it?
Yeah, well that's it. I mean, again, it's another thing as well down to use. I mean, the more you use it, the more supple it stays. So
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
crack as much.
Yeah.
I mean, you're allowed minor cracks like that. They're just minor surface cracks. That's
Yes.
nothing.
Yeah.
Tread. Yeah, tread's fine. Check for distortion in the tread as well. Give it a spin, see if you can see any distortion in the
Uneven
tread.
wear and stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah. jack the back up and we'll just repeat the same checks we did on the front, on the rears.
Are punctures a part of the MOT at all?
Only if it's in an area that's going to cause damage to the actual tyre, but an actual puncture, a screw in the tread or anything like that, it's not part of the MOT.
Okay.
I mean, you can alert the customer to the fact it's there, but it's not part of the MOT.
It's not a fail, right? Okay.
Nope.
What's the most common thing that you see then, Darren, do you think, that people could sort of like save themselves problems with regarding the MOT?
Lights.
Just basic things, bulbs out and stuff like that?
Yeah, just bulbs out, keeping the screen wash topped up and things like that. It's simple things, but people always forget it.
And, well, they can just get lazy, mate, don't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, not everyone knows about tyre tread depth and things like that, but...
No. They should do, though, mate, to be honest, because we do teach them when we're teaching them to drive, but again, they just get in the car and just drive once they get that licence, mate.
That's it. Put the handbrake back on.
I know it's 3 years old with the cars, isn't it? And remind me if I'm wrong, I think you can book an MOT test up to a month minus a day before it then renews, can't you?
Yeah. Before the thing, if you go too much than that, you'll lose that month basically.
That's right, and then doesn't it just go then from the day that you bring it in? I think the renew date then goes from there, doesn't it?
If it's
prior
before,
to that.
If it's prior to that.
So if your expiry date is 17th of the 3rd, 2022, the earliest you can actually renew your MOT without losing that month is the 18th of the 2nd, 2022.
Most people don't even know that. And you do my MOT, when's it due? And like, oh, it's such a... Well, if you wait a couple more days...
I suppose there's a problem as well, and I've never done it. I always try and get mine in at least a couple of weeks prior to the MOT.
Yeah.
Because then if it does fail, you're still okay to drive at home, providing there's no serious things. Would that be correct to say as well?
Yeah. I mean, it gives you time to get the repairs done and stuff like that without actually losing the vehicle for a couple of days. Yeah.
I know it's in for a service today as well, this car, so...
Yeah.
Is that a good idea? Would that be something you recommend to get an MOT and a service done at the same time?
Generally, yeah, because it saves you time as well, having to go to and from the garage. But,
and I suppose any points that are found, you can then fix them, can't you?
You can then be rectified the same day on the while we're doing the service.
What's this machine?
This is our brake tester.
Okay.
What this will do is check the effectiveness of the brakes effectively. And it just measures the readings and compares them to the weight of the vehicle to make sure they are efficient enough to stop the vehicle.
I see, yeah, makes sense. Is this on the rollers that we're using now?
Yeah. It will start automatically, it even weighs the vehicle itself.
So obviously the rears are tested as well, are they?
Yeah, all the brakes are tested, including the handbrake.
What generally causes an imbalance in the brakes then, Darren? Is that pad wear or
pad wear? disc wear can cause it. Damage or seized calipers, things like that. Damaged brake lines.
Yeah. Was there any issues with the brakes at all? Or the measurements all good?
Oh, yeah, everything's fine. I mean, what we generally are looking for on the brakes is for them to lock. Because if a brake locks, that's as good as it's going to get.
Yeah. Is the ABS at all tested?
Not in the sense of testing the actual ABS systems working, but in the sense of testing that the warning light operates correctly and stuff like that. But I mean, the rollers don't really go fast enough for the ABS to actually function.
I understand. Yeah.
Test the emissions now.
Is that the emissions?
Well, this tests that little gizmo. Plugs into the ECU and takes readings from the ECU about engine temperature and engine RPM. So we don't have to measure that anymore. It does it for us.
Does it? I remember the old into the exhaust.
Oh yeah, we still got that.
You still got that?
Yeah, we still got that bit, but all that measures is engine temperature, where we used to put the thing down the dipstick to measure the temperature.
I remember that's all sorted out for
you. Yeah, that just saves all that, and putting the leads on the coils and things to get speed measurements.
Okay.
Just saves all that.
This is your emissions machine.
Yeah, this is what takes a sniff of the exhaust and tells us whether it's good or not. Put them so far under these days. You'd be a contortionist to get at some of them.
Yeah. Shout is if you tried to stick that in some of the fake exhaust at any point.
Oh yeah.
On occasions.
The focuses, the way they have the two pipes, one's real, one's not.
Is that the case, is it?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. One's real, one's not.
Both next to each other, but if you look up it, then it just goes straight onto the
fake one. Yeah.
Right, that's all good.
We've got a friend.
He's sometimes our temporary assistant.
Excellent. Yeah, check the brake lights.
And then it'll tell you whether it's passed or failed. You don't have to add any of the figures up anymore and check things anymore.
Right, I get you.
The machine just goes yeah or no.
Would this be the same in all garages as well, Darren?
Yeah, I mean, the machine would be probably different makes of machine and things like that, but generally they're all the same. All the same sort of system.
Perfect. How did it get on with the emissions?
It seemed fine,
Seemed fine? Good.
Yeah, pass. Machine tells you everything you need to know these days.
That can often be a big deciding factor on how the car is as well, can't it?
Yeah.
The emissions.
Yeah. That's it. Just enter the results into the computer and the test's all done.
Test's all done. How did it get on, mate?
Flew through.
Flew through. Excellent, mate. Is there any little bits, advisories or anything like that need doing on it?
Nope.
Seems good.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Well, you're a star, man, and thanks for giving everyone a little bit of info and insight into an MOT, Darren. You're a good man.
I think everyone needs a little bit of insight into an MOT because it'll help them maintain the car a lot better.
You're not
Make
wrong.
my job easier.
You're not wrong, absolutely.